Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties, education, and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Last week, the Supreme Court not only heard oral arguments, but they gathered to vote among the justices, and a decision is now being written. We'll talk about it today and what's some of the alternatives to Obamacare. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, this week we've dedicated to the Obamacare oral arguments. Last week they heard oral arguments on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 3 days, 6 hours of arguments, and they addressed the gamut that we've covered this week. We've talked about some of the options about the court would strike down Obamacare, which is the best scenario, strike it down in its entirety. There's other options that are not so good, and that is the court upholds Obamacare and there's not enough votes to repeal it. So not only does it do damage to the Constitution because of this newfound federal power that they would give in their interpretation, but also Obamacare would actually go into effect. Those are the extremes of the options, and certainly we're asking people to pray for this decision, and we ask you to go to our website, lc.org. You can get the bumper sticker, Lord Deliver Us from Obamacare, but also don't just carry it around as a bumper sticker. Really do pray for this decision because it is a significant case, and the decision's not done until the actual opinion is finally written.
Yeah, and yesterday we kind of closed our conversation talking about the reality that although we currently have, prior to Obamacare, this imposition of socialized medicine, at least the beginnings of a single-payer system, which President Obama was during his presidential campaign was very open about, that this was just one step, a big step toward an ultimate single-payer system like we see in Great Britain and Canada and elsewhere. So make no mistake, that's the plan behind Obamacare, because it is designed to ultimately break the private insurance companies so that and regulate the insurance companies to the degree private insurance companies that they simply cannot do business. They'll have to shut down. It leaves a vacuum. Federal government steps in. Ultimately, you arrive at a single-payer system, which has failed catastrophically in Canada and in Great Britain, will fail at an even larger scale in the United States. But the reality is there are some clearly issues with our system of health care. There are people that are uninsured. But there are some, again, it seems that government overregulation is responsible for the majority of these inherent problems with our current free market system of health care. Aren't there things that can be fixed incrementally or a piecemeal to put together a program that can actually patch this already, which is already the best healthcare system in the world, can make it even better? Yeah,
there's certainly ways you can do this, and we see the failed systems in Great Britain, and Great Britain realizes that their single-payer universal coverage has now failed. They can't sustain it. They're trying to move away from that to more of a free enterprise system. In those kinds of situations, whether it's Canada or Great Britain, where they have universal single-payer coverage, it may be good for the common cold, but not good for surgery or serious conditions. So people leave the country because they can't get medical treatment there. Not only can they not get it, it's illegal for them to private pay, even if they had the ability to do it, just like it's illegal to private pay your Medicare doctor. If you voluntarily go into Medicare, you cannot private pay for something that Medicare doesn't cover. Obamacare will not make medicine better or more accessible in a sense. It will actually eliminate some coverage that we currently have, and certainly it'll eliminate it for certain people, because of the rationing that will take place. And if Obamacare was really concerned about cost, then just take this one example. And there's many ways that you could actually have legislation both on the state and even some on the federal. You have to be careful on not federalizing this issue, but really giving it to the free enterprise. But there's certain ways that you could actually make it quickly and easily more affordable and more accessible. One way would be prescription drugs. Prescription drugs are very expensive. We cannot buy them right now from Canada, where the cost is actually cheaper in Canada. And why? Because there's federal laws that prohibit us from doing that. Now, in Obamacare, they entered into an agreement with the pharmaceutical companies. If the pharmaceutical companies would support Obamacare, in exchange, they would not allow legislation going through that would allow us to buy drugs from Canada. Therefore, there'd be no competition against the pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceuticals said, that's great. We'll support Obamacare because we don't want competition.
We get to maintain the monopoly
our state.
And the high price of
That's right.
Of
they can
medication.
maintain their monopoly. That's one way. We could allow people to buy prescription drugs in other places that are obviously consistent with our quality and our requirements, but buy them in other places. That will increase competition, bring down the price. Another way is to be able to buy health insurance across state lines.
Let the free market work. Why are federal regulations currently hobble states? There are states that have 3-4 insurance plans available because of federal regulations that will not allow the crossover of state lines, which would open up a wide variety of choices for people to choose from. Let the free market work. That lowers the cost of health care. Am I right?
That's right. And, and some of this is based on state regulations as well. And the reason that the Commerce Clause actually came into existence was because the states were putting up these economic barriers at each state. And so Kentucky, for example, would not allow Virginia to import tobacco because Kentucky had its own tobacco. So they would put these high tariffs on Virginia. And so therefore there was all these different kinds of things going on. A river that runs through a particular state, a state would not allow ships to come there from another state without a high tariff. So the Commerce Clause actually was designed to open up the market across the country, to stop those states from enacting barriers. What we have right now are states with barriers around them so that you cannot purchase insurance, even though it's more affordable and more to your liking in another state. And so that limits your options. And so we could do that. We could easily do that.
That's actually using the Commerce Clause in a way it was intended.
That would be used. That's exactly right. That's how the Commerce Clause was intended to operate, to open up that commerce, not to force people into the stream of commerce,
right.
Which is what Obamacare does. It forces you into a stream of commerce that you don't want to swim in. Yeah. And it pushes you in there no matter what. Even if you can't swim, it's going to push you there. It doesn't really matter. There's other ways, too, that you could do it. For example, with taxing and tax credits, not tax deductions, but credits where you get $1 right off the top of your income. So if you're making $50,000 and you spend $5,000 on insurance, then you begin with $45,000. Then you go through all your deductions. Right now, for example, if you are going through medical expenses, by the time you itemize everything, you can't deduct anything. Yeah. If you take it $1 off, that would right off the top, that would be a way to help in any kind of premiums that you're paying, any kind of medical treatment, but also for other people who are more wealthy. If you would give them $1 for $1 right off front on the top, so if they're making $250,000 and they want to give $25,000 to a low cost or no cost medical providing entity, then take $25,000 directly off the top of their income, and you start with $225,000 rather than $250,000, or whatever it might be. There's a lot of incentives that we can do, and there's other kinds of reforms that we can engage in.
And we can't possibly hit them all in 10 minutes. But let me ask you, one thing we know is Obamacare, what it does is it provides a disincentive for the best and the brightest to become doctors. It creates an unlimited demand for health care, but it significantly diminishes the best and the brightest going into healthcare. It leaves a vacuum of doctors, and these free market fixes we're talking about will continue to incentivize the best and the brightest to become doctors, to start engaging in research and development for new drugs and so forth. That's the fix, not socialized medicine.
And Obamacare is going to be basically a Medicare or Medicaid on steroids. Yeah. We already know that most doctors that have been taking Medicare no longer take Medicare. They don't take new Medicare patients, and they're leaving Medicare because of all the government bureaucracy and federal regulation. That's what's going to happen under Obamacare. So there's a lot of ways to address our issues, increase the quality and the affordability and the accessibility. But Obamacare is obviously not designed to do that. It has other intentions besides doing that.
Sure does.
It's basically a big government program. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org, and pray for this case and make it a matter of consistent prayer for you and your family and also your community and the people in your church all the way up to the time that this case is written. It's not over until it's over. And that's why we have the bumper sticker, Lord, Deliver Us from Obamacare. And we want you to get that by going to lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. You can also ask for my book, Take Back America. You can also ask for the Patriot's Handbook on Religious Liberty. It has the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, Patrick Henry's Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death message, and an essay from me. You can ask for that at lc.org. And make sure you sign up for the Awakening 2012, April 20 and 21 in Orlando, Florida. Go to lc.org for more information and to sign up today.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.